Hey guys, I'm Roger Wakefield, lead AP, the expert plumber, coming to you on YouTube Live. Man, happy Monday. How was your weekend? What are we doing today? And what I mean by that is, what are we doing in plumbing? We can't get enough people into the trades. We can't get, we can't get a whole lot of things. Got the Urban Explorer in here. I love it. William Rosebrock, good to see you in here too. You know, have you ever listened to Mike Rowe? Have you ever listened to Mr. Wonderful talk about what kind of problems we've got? We've got students that are going to college that can't graduate without a college debt that is out of this world. We've got millions of open jobs in the trades that we can't get filled because we don't have enough people that want to get into the trades. We've got an unemployment rate that's crazy. And I say that it's not bad, but guys, there shouldn't be an unemployment rate. We're always looking for people in the trades, always. Barney Films 85. I listen to Mike Rowe too. He kind of knows what he's talking about. But you know, the funny thing is, we talk about the trades all the time. You know, and I say the trades. We talk about plumbing, but it's the trades. And I tell you what, there's never. I don't think we're ever going to get all the jobs filled where there's never a demand in the trades. And the reason I say that is people are focusing on college because they want that education. They think there's more money involved. And, you know, think about this. I had this conversation just the other day. If somebody goes through the apprentice training program in the union, and I'm going to say that just because I kind of know what those numbers are. But if somebody goes through the apprentice training program in the union, they're going to make about $250,000 over a 5-year period. Probably 4, they probably get closer to 3 in a 5-year period, but let's say $250,000. Now let's say that same student decided instead of that, they were going to go to college for 4 years. Chances are they're going to take on $100,000 to $200,000 in debt. Now, that's not the big problem. They take that on in debt, but then whenever they graduate college, they are entry-level position at any job. They don't have any experience. They've learned out of a book. I'm saying nothing bad about it, but that's what kind of position that is. If you go through the trades, 5 years later, you're a journeyman. You are top of the food chain. Now, there's still room to move up. You can be a foreman, a superintendent, director of operations. You can move into CAD. You can move into BIM. You can move into estimating. There's so many opportunities and different things, but man, it's crazy. Let me scroll back up in here. Jim Brandt, good to see you. Barney Films 85. Man, Mike Rowe, man, he knows what he's talking about. That's always pretty cool to listen to. Got Miss Michelle back in the house. How are you doing today? Todd Hips, good afternoon. Great to see you. Bruce Lean just got off. Started your first day today as a helper. Man, good for you. So Bruce, tell me this, and that's really interesting. I love that. Tell me what your first day was like. Was it what you expected? Were you expecting more? Were you expecting something different? Man, what do you think at the end of your first day? I'm sure before you went in, you were excited and nervous and all the above, but now that the first day's over, what do you think about it? Just kind of curious about that. So let me see. Super J. It all starts at the high school level. That's when we talk to these teenagers. You know, and Super J, you're right. And the problem is we go out and we do things. We go out to career days. We go out to, high school awareness days, things like that. What opportunities do these kids have? And it's really sad because the last one that I went out to, I think 3 students the entire night stopped by. And, that they saw the plumbing, they saw different things out and whatnot. But you know what? At the end of the day, the bad thing is they don't want to be plumbers. They want computer jobs. They want high-paying jobs. Did you hear that? They want high-paying jobs. But they're not thinking about plumbing. So, man, that's kind of scary because when I talk to the counselors and tell the counselors, hey, If a kid gets out and joins an apprentice training program, joins the union, electrical, HVAC, plumbing, sheet metal, whatnot, here's what it starts out at. Right now here in my area in Dallas, it starts out over $16 an hour. An apprentice getting into the trades right now in 5 years will be making about $40 an hour. Man, that's not a bad gig. And when I tell the teachers that, they're like, oh my God, I want to quit teaching. I want to go be a plumber. Now, I doubt that they're going to do it, but that's what the talk is. High school level. You know what? In Super J, it's a great thing. High school level being start a vocational high school. And I talked to different high schools about that. I know Richardson, where I'm at, RISD is talking about putting in a career development program that helps people that want to get in construction, different type things. And I tell you what, I think it's great. I know Wilmer Hutchins has a training program where they're bringing high school students up and getting them into the trades early so that when they get out of high school, they can make more money. And my thought process is, if you took a high school training program, and let's just talk plumbing because, man, that's what I can talk the best about. But if you took a high school training program and literally made it a 4-year program to where these kids could come in and study plumbing for 4 hours a day, half a day, let them study in the summers and on weekends and maybe even after school, if it's a vocational program, something like that, they can get a job with a plumbing company, either running calls, cleaning up job sites. Man, I could use somebody cleaning my shop right now. Different things like that. But set up something where the guys can come in and learn. And I was joking about them just coming in and cleaning the shop, but in between things to do, it gives them something to do to make money. But now, if they went through this training program in 4 years and we could give them 2 years credit, man, I could put a kid to work at about $50,000 a year right out of high school if he's got his tradesman. So there's different certifications, different things, but that's something, to be honest, man, I could teach somebody and teach them to do it the way we want it done. So there's a lot of opportunity there, and I really think that we should get involved with that. Fafong Wong, how are you? Finally back to work. I like that. Who'd you go to work for? Saden, you truly respect me for helping youth find different pathways. You're really listening and thanking me. You're more than welcome. If you become a journeyman in Canada, could you find a job in the U.S.? I'll tell you what, you can become a journeyman anywhere and find a job in the U.S. And I say that when and God, let me think of the years. This was late 80s. I was working for an open shop company in Austin, Texas, built the Four Seasons Resort and office tower, and also worked on the Schlumberger project out there. But we had a plumber that had come over from South Africa, a great plumber. This guy was really, really good. And, here's the thing, guys. Look, water runs downhill. It is what it is. Now, there may be different codes, different things to look at, but at the end of the day, yeah, if you can be a plumber in Canada, you can be a plumber in the United States. If you're part of the United Association, we are in the United States, in Canada, I believe even in Australia and maybe even Italy now. God, there's somewhere else. I know Australia, Canada, and the United States. I don't think it's the United Kingdom, but we can travel and work. There's just paperwork to fill out and get done and go through. But man, yeah, if you are a plumber in Canada, yeah, you can plumb down here. So let me see. Man, it jumped on me again. So there's Satan. Southern Mama Drama. 5th day of your apprenticeship. Pull the snake out of the drain and septic system. Sludge, poop, splattered all over me. Good times. You know what? And Jeff, thanks. I know I keep calling you Southern Mama Drama. Jeff, it happens. And the thing is, it washes off. You're going to learn that. Not that it washes off, but how to keep from getting it on you as often. But man, it is what it is. I hate to say it, but it is what it is. And you know what, Neil? Got the Urban Explorer in here, guys. My moderator got him in here, got Will in here. Man, these guys are great. Thank you for all y'all do. Man, it's going great, Neil. I saw your video earlier. Guys, if y'all have not connected with the Urban Explorer, go over and subscribe to his channel. Check it out. Watch what he does. Talking about living the van life. Need a soldering iron as part of your tools to have. And man, I get it. Luckily for me, my dad worked for AT&T. My mother had several different jobs, but one of the jobs she had, they built radar detectors. And I remember they used to bring home the power cords, and we would make solder joints on them. When I was young, for every 100 or what they made so much money. And man, they had us kids around the table, and Neil, we had soldering irons, and we'd learn to solder and start doing that. So man, I had a pretty cool life. Thoroughly enjoyed it. A lot of one, good to see you in here. More work for us, man. I get it. Jake Vallis, waited in line for apprentice applications at your local last night. Was surprised to see so many older people, 50s, that were trying to become apprentices. You're never too old to learn something new. Jake, man, and that's a great point. You're not. Now, those of y'all that have been here before have heard me talk about the fact I've had apprentices as old as 55 whenever I was an instructor. Is it hard on your body? Absolutely. Is it going to be hard on your body? Absolutely. But you learn to work smarter, not harder. And that's a big deal. And it's really funny because not everybody gets it. But, when I was younger, I could grab a joint of, I'm going to say 6-inch cast iron, throw it on my shoulder, climb up a 10-foot ladder, hang it in hangers. I wouldn't do that today. I'd be like, guys, y'all are crazy. But I would get a roustabout, get a duck jack, get whatever we're using, get a scissor lift that has pipe stands built on it so it's done properly and safely. Yes, I believe in OSHA. Yes, I believe in doing things right. But at the end of the day, man, I'm going to work smarter, not harder. That stuff will wear you out. Bruce Lean, you liked it? Didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I get that. So it's a little rough following along. We're putting in a tankless heater, but all in all, it was good. So that's cool. Bruce, where are you located at? What city? I'm assuming you're working for a residential service company. But tell me a little bit about it. Tell me, how'd you get the job? What made you get that job? Things like that, because I make videos all the time telling people, look, if you want to get a job in plumbing, here's what you need to do. And guys, I always talk about plumbing, but man, it's any trade. I get guys send me messages all the time. Hey, look, I'm an electrician. I watch your show all the time, but all you talk about is plumbing. Guys, you can unplug plumbing, put in electrical, HVAC, roofing, window installing, elevator installing, landscaping. Man, there's so many different home residential services that this works. It's if you want to do what we do it this way, and you can make a great living at it. So, pretty neat. Sorry about that. Urban Explorer. Friend of yours was a nightclub owner. Gave it up to be a boiler fitter. Absolutely. Less stress, more money, and didn't work weekends or night. He's happy. Man, and Neil, I love seeing that because, man, I get it, and I completely agree with it. The thing is, the good thing about it is, I used to be a bartender. I've done bodyguard work. I've done security. I mean, all kinds of fun things, but I always end up back in plumbing. And a lot of times there were a lot of those jobs that I did plumbing. When I was young, I always wanted more. I had a young family starting up, so I wanted to work harder. So we had money to do things. I wanted to buy my son things. I wanted to buy my wife things. I wanted to buy us things. But the thing about it was, man, as a plumber, as an apprentice plumber, you don't make a lot of money. So what I did was actually, I got out and learned to do other things. I built fences. I built redwood decks. I do that in the evenings and on the weekends. I learned to tend bar. I was doing that in the evenings and on the weekends. There were times that I'd have 3 or 4 jobs. I'd have my plumbing job during the day. I'd do security, concert security at night. I'd tend bar on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Maybe do college football games or Maverick games or something like that. I have done so many different things, but I always found a way to stay busy. That way I can make money and help me support my family and do the things that I wanted to do. Man, when you first start out plumbing, you don't make a lot of money. But I will tell you this, starting out right now as an apprentice here in the Dallas area, you make almost $17 an hour. That's not a bad gig starting out, considering you can get that job almost right out of high school. So not bad at all. Barney Films 85, if you're listening to Mr. Wakefield, help him out and close the live chat for a second and hit that like button. Barney Films, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And, man, lucky for y'all, I can't see and not lucky for y'all, but I can't see the thumbs up or likes or anything like that. I've got it blown up where I can read the chat without my glasses on. And let me do this here and take that to a live chat, see if that's any better. I see we got 30 people watching, which is a great thing. So, man, if there's 30 people watching, I'm assuming there's 30 thumbs up. So I do appreciate that very much. Let me find out where I was right here. And we got some good people in here today. I like that. Okay, Fa Fong Wong 3, Beard Mechanical, and you're at TI. And it's really funny because I went to do a job Friday for an engineer at TI, and I was talking to her when she mentioned she was out at TI. I said, that's funny. I worked out there for about 5 years, and I started going down my list of engineers that I had ran work for and asked her, do you know him? Do you know him? Do you know him? Well, it turned out one of the engineers that she had gone to college with, I actually worked under him when he was running the South building. And, man, it was really great. Just thinking back on that, I used to build DI water plants, put in resin beds, got PC water, nitrogen. We did all kinds of things out there. And, that's part of why I tell people, look, I'm probably a really good guy to talk to about plumbing. I've done residential and commercial. I've done new construction and service. I've been union and non-union. I've done industrial. I've done medical. Man, I've done all of it. So kind of enjoy it. You'll have a lot of fun out at TI. Beard Mechanical is a great company to work for. If you ever see Kurt Webb or Burt Wells, tell them Roger said hello. Guitar 1301, good to have you in here. And guys, I don't have all my glasses, so if I mess up your name, please forgive me. I am trying. Will Journey, currently studying for your aptitude test. Things are looking good. Wish you luck, man. Here's the cool thing about it, guys. If you're studying for it, you're going to do good, because most people don't. And I know that's a sad thing, because I've literally been down in Austin for the plumbing exams, and the executive director at the Texas State Board, Lisa Hill, is a good friend of mine. And I've heard her talk about people coming down to take a test, and she's like, hey, look, sometimes people don't even study. They just walk in and think that they know everything since they've been plumbing. So, man, I'll tell you, the fact that you're studying, that's fantastic. Good luck to you. Will, tell me this. Where are you located? Will Journey, where are you located? You're studying an aptitude test, so I'm assuming you're trying to get into the union. Just tell me a little bit about it. Where are you located? What are you trying to get into? What kind of plumber are you trying to be? Very interested. Guitar 1301, great to have you in here, as always. Will Rosebrock, camera looks like it lost focus on my face. And that was probably a while ago, so it's focused right there. And I tell you what, I love this new camera we've got, and it still looks out of focus, doesn't it? Focuses on my hand and comes out. Maybe it just doesn't like my face. That might look a little better. So anyway, focus on your hand and then put down so it finds your eyes again. So it's looking for my eyes. Focus all over it. I like that. Thank you, Will. Chachi the plumber. You're a 14-year-old freshman in high school. Okay, Chachi, if you're a 14-year-old freshman, I doubt you're a plumber yet. You may be laying pipe, but you're not a plumber yet. So, freshman in high school, you got rejected from going to the trade school because they only allowed to take special kids. What should I do for early plumbing education? Okay, I like this. This is great. Chachi, tell me a little bit more about this. Number one, what kind of school were you trying to get into? And number two, where are you located? Because I've got a couple of ideas for you. Dirch, any tips? Man, there are always tips, brother. That is what we're here for. Jerry Heron, how are you? Got your license. Congratulations. That is a great thing to have. Jim Brandt, your son joined you in the trade right after high school. Fast forward 2 years, he has his tradesman and running calls. Jim, I love that. I got my son into the trades. He became a plumber. Actually, he became a pipe fitter. He's currently got his plumber's registration, so he can go take his exam when he wants to. But my son did a little bit different. He came up, he learned what he was doing. My son was really, really good on computers. So when he got the opportunity, he went into the office, learned estimating, and he is doing really, really well. He loves it. He's on computers, but he knows the system, so he's really pretty good at it. That's neat, though. It's kind of neat to see our sons following our footsteps, even if it's a little bit. It's kind of neat. Dirch, any tips on passing the Bennett hand tool dexterity test? Man, I'm going to have to look that one up, brother, because I don't know what that is. But I will check that out. Matter of fact, if I had a pen in here, I'd write that down. You might, if you see it, if you see I hadn't done anything on it, let me know. I want to look that up. So that sounds pretty cool. Will, if you're still in here, would you put that up? Maybe put a link into it and let's see what that is. Jim Brandt, he ran into a teacher and blew their mind when he told them what he makes. And man, that is so good, because I tell people this all the time. And actually, I was looking at a title that I'm wanting to do for a book. I'm wanting to make a video that says, look, these are the 10 things you need to learn to get you to making $100,000 a year. And guys, look, I probably started making $100,000 a year almost 20 years ago. Maybe not quite, but right around that amount of time. Guys, if you want to make it, you can. It's literally, what do you want to do in this trade? How hard are you willing to work it? And what are you willing to learn? So that's cool. Dirch, you take your test Saturday on Local 55. Okay, good. So up in Cleveland. I'm interested, though, what is the aptitude test? What all are they asking you to do? What are they wanting you to do? And, man, what all's on it? Just because, or what are you studying? Let's put it that way. I doubt that it's just plumbing code. I'm sure there's some plumbing math, things like that. Can you tell us what all they're telling you to study, or what they're recommending you study to pass the test? Because I'm sure they're telling you to study something. Dave Goris, how are you? Good to have you in there. You did a sewer root contest. Longest one you pulled out was 35 feet. Man, the coolest one that I've ever pulled out, Dave, it was only, I'm going to say 6 feet long, but it completely filled up a 4-inch piece of pipe. A clean out had broken at the end of the house. It is actually like a 45-degree clean out. They had just kind of put paper over it or something. By the time I got there, roots were in there so tight, it was solid. And what I did, I drove a rock bar about 6 feet away down in the ground, and then I took a ratchet, like a ratchet strap, and literally hooked it into the roots, kind of braided it in there, hooked it around that rock bar, held the rock bar with one hand and started jacking that strap with the other, pulled it out about a foot at a time, and it was solid piece of 4-inch pipe packed with roots, and I think it was about 6 or 8 feet long. And man, I wish I'd have had a camera with me and taken a picture at the time. It's been a little while, but man, that is one of the most interesting roots I've ever pulled out. So pretty neat. 35 feet's crazy though. Fei Fong Wong, sitting in front of the hall, waiting for the meeting to start now. Happy Monday night, man. That's what it's all about. Good for you. Cool deal. Urban Explorer, soldering is a dying art. Man, you're so right. And you said it right there with the push-on fittings. And guys, one of my biggest videos is shark bites. Why I don't like shark bites. And don't get me wrong, I get a lot of people say, look, we only use them for emergencies. We only use them for this. And I get that. That's a great way to look at it. Problem is, normally once you put it on there, the customer's going to say, well, look, I don't need you to come back. It's not leaking. Don't worry about it. And they do that. So my guys are allowed to use them for emergencies only, but they've got to leave tools and stuff there to say, look, we got to come back anyway. We're going to change it out. We're not allowed to leave. We're not allowed to collect. We're not allowed to do anything. So my thing is, man, we're going to fix it right to begin with. And to me, that's the best way to do it. Southern Mama Drama. Man, it jumped on me again. Here we go. Yes. What you loved about plumbing is that it's fun and recession proof. And it's really funny that you put it that way because, man, you are so right. It does not matter how bad the economy is. If you've got a drip under your sink, you've got a leak under your house, you've got a stopped up toilet, you've got a shower head that won't stop running, guys, you're going to call a plumber. Or you're going to fix it yourself, which is fine. I teach people how to do that. But the big thing about it is, you're right. It's about as recession proof as just about anything that I've seen out there. And man, think about it. When you see some of these videos of the stuff that we run into under the house, and I really wish that I could, and I really wish I'd had a video camera with me the other day. And the bad thing is I had it and I set it up out of the way because I didn't want it to get anything on it. But we had a sanitary tee on the bottom of a toilet. So the lead bin came over into the sand tee and then came down. And whoever had put this together didn't use the right fittings. It had separated, it had dropped, it had turned, and they had just used a no-hub band. And, if y'all are plumbers, you're supposed to use the CT adapter, a Sure band, but they had just used a no-hub band. They stuck this no-hub band on there and turned it, or didn't turn it, but whenever it separated, it kind of turned, and the rubber was sitting right in the dead center of that sand tee. So I saw what was going to happen. So I loosened up the metallic band, the aluminum band, slid that thing, and I say aluminum, it's probably stainless, but very thin, slid it down and around out of the way. So the only thing holding what was in the center of this sand tee, and I'm telling you, it was packed solid because I reached up in there and felt it. I had my rubber gloves on. I reached up in there and felt it, and it was packed solid. And what I did, because I knew I didn't want to just move that band. I didn't want all this crap and piss and everything else coming down on me. And remember, guys, I'm sitting in a little tunnel up under a house, 3 foot wide, 3 feet tall, and there's nowhere to run. So I've got this bucket with me, and all I did, I'm telling you, the top of the combo was right here. The top of the sand tee is like right here, where it's right in the middle of it. So what I did is I took this bucket and I just jammed it over and pushed that rubber out of the way. And when I did that, luckily there were only 4 gallons of crap in here that came down into this bucket. And I'm holding this bucket, I'm gagging, I got my head turned. And I don't know how long this thing has been stopped up, but it was not pretty. But I got all of it in the bucket. Then I handed it to my apprentice. I said, do me a favor, get this out of here. Be careful. Don't spill it on the plastic. Don't spill it in the tunnel on the way in and out. It ain't going to be pretty if you do. So anyway, man, it gets crazy sometimes. But I promise you, we do have fun. And most people aren't going to do that. Going back to Jeff. Most people aren't going to do that. Bruce Lane, Greensboro, North Carolina. Yes, it's for a residential service company. Good for you. It's a really small company. There is the 3 guys, 2 older guys than me. You got into plumbing from watching my videos. Fantastic. Bruce Lane, I like that. So I expect you to send me a percentage of your check for the next 20 years. Nothing longer than 20 years, but a small percentage, nothing more than 10%. Agents actually get 15, so you're really getting a good deal today. Man, I'm glad to hear that you got into it. Bruce, tell me this. Were you doing something else, or is this just what you decided, hey, this is what I'm going to start my career doing? And the reason I ask is I know so many people that are in jobs that they hate. And, I tell people all the time, look, plumbing is really a good job. And I know I say plumbing, the trades. To be an electrician is a good job. To be an HVAC tech is a good job. To be a roofer, maybe not, but, somebody's got to, I almost said something bad. Somebody's got to be the guy that nobody wants to be. A carpenter, a foundation guy. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do. Paul Peck drywall to, become a sheetrocker, put drywall up, learn to tape in bed, learn to get really good at it and make great money because your magic with sheetrock and putty and whatnot. So different ways to look at it. Oh, there we go. See, man, Bruce, you were getting ahead of me. You're good. So you were a commercial carpenter's apprentice. It stayed slow, so you looked into the other trades, ran across my videos. Fantastic. Dave Goris, your biggest part of plumbing is healthcare. And Dave, it's neat because I'm a med gas plumber. I can install med gas. The neat thing is I'm a med gas plumber and I own a service plumbing company. So I get a lot of calls from dentists that they need somebody to come work on their med gas system, but they can't find, think about it. All the big companies that do med gas, they don't do service, especially not small service like that. So I get a lot of calls that way. So it's pretty cool. Southern Mama Drama, yes, I did. I used to be a hairstylist, used to be a massage therapist, used to be a bodyguard, used to be a bouncer, a bartender, a DJ. Man, I could probably even go on further than that, but I'll just kind of stop it right there. Cruise 1527, just use camera to find a drain line that bowed. Yeah, man, and not only find the drain line, but you can find where the bow starts, where the bow ends. Find so many things. And guys, look, I love my sewer cameras. The sewer cameras, the locators, the things like that, they make life so much better than they used to be. Man, as a plumber, God, I can't tell you how many times we've and think about it, guys, old school plumbing, you didn't have the sewer cameras. You didn't have the locators. You didn't have, I guess they've had geophones for a while, but you didn't have all the electronic equipment we use for leak detection now. It can get pretty crazy. But the cool thing about it is, man, it makes our job so much easier. That is fantastic. Stacy Moore, 2 good apprenticeship interviews in the last month. Both sounded like a job. Most sounded like the job was yours. Fantastic. However, you never heard back from either one, not even a rejection call. Is this typical? Here's the deal. I'm not going to say it's typical, but the thing is, if they're slow, they're not hiring at the time. Right now, they're gathering resumes, hoping to get somebody that comes in. It just blows their mind. So when they do get busy, they can call them. I would follow up. Just send them a message, send them a handwritten thank you note with whoever interviewed you. Say, look, I just want to let you know I really do appreciate the opportunity. I hope something comes along because I'm very interested in working for your company. And something like that, you never know when the right person is going to see it and say, wow, you know what? I really do like the fact this person took the time to do that. So pretty cool. Unbox Heroes, how we doing? Chachi's laying pipe. See, I figured somebody'd catch that. Chachi the plumber, you're located in Long Island, New York. Would like to get into the trade school. BOCES, BOCES, as an 11th grader. And I got a question, Chachi. If you get into that, which I'm not familiar with BOCES, BOCES, but does that help you get into the union? Because I've had people talk about trying to get into the union in New York, and they're like, look, 700 or 800 people come down and apply for 30 positions. And, man, that's got to be hard to get into. But, man, I know what kind of money they make up in a local one, and that's not a bad gig, so that's why I ask. Will Journey, thank you for the response. Plumbers 130 local in Chicago, fantastic. Test is March 9th, and your only obstacle is math. But your study sessions are very productive. Looking forward to the test. Good for you. What I would tell you, and just because I do plumber's math, I actually used to teach it. The union's got books, so if you don't understand, but you know what? Here's what I say. If you haven't done your interview yet, talk to them. Say, look, I'm going to let you know math is not my strongest suit, but I want it to be. I want to get really good at it. So I hope y'all have a training program that will teach me well. And that's always a great thing to hear if you're interviewing someone. But the thing is, they do have a math program. They do have ways to teach you plumbing math. The UPC study guide, which I've got a link to in some of my videos, they've actually got they've got a good math section in it where they teach you like how to figure the volume of a cylinder, and if a pump kicked on, it pumps out this many gallons a minute. How many inches of water are going to go down? Man, I love it. I get excited about it. It's cool. It's fun. It's interesting. That's why I'm a good repair plumber, because I love to think about things. I love to solve problems. So pretty cool for me. I really enjoy it. Scott Sterling, what's up? Jake Vallis, drain cleaners are the most superior form of plumber. You know what? I got to tell you, Jake, it's not a bad gig. And I don't know about the most superior form, that there's a lot of plumbers that do a lot of things that are good and make good money. But here's what I like about drain cleaners. Number one, you kind of have to understand how the house is piped, because it's going to help you when it comes time to figure out what caused the blockage or where it could be. Also, how to get drains down a certain pipe where you're hey, look, we're clogged up here, we're having problems. There's a lot of different ways to look at it and a lot of different things to think about. But you know what, man, I love my drain cleaners. Here in Texas, after a certain amount of time, you can get a registration on your apprentice to allow you to be a drain cleaner. And man, that helps me out, because then my guys can get out, be productive, and help us make money. So pretty cool. Jake Barksdale, how are you, sir? Good. Or Lake, sorry about that. Like I said, guys, I don't have my glasses on. Nobody start cussing me just because I pronounced your name wrong. Lake Barksdale, appreciate it. What kind of math should someone study in order to prepare for the apprenticeship? Looking to get a head start, and math is not your best subject. Guys, I get it. I've got a link to the study guide in there. I don't know if Will's in here, if he can jump in there and put that link up. We've got a link to the UPC study guide, and it's the study guide. It's the only one. I'll say the only one. The IPC's got one. I really like this one better, but it's got a great math section that will show you a lot of things that would help when it comes to plumber math. So it could be pretty good for you. John Kramer, boiler expansion tank bad. Pressure fluctuates. The expansion tank is bad. And it very well could be. If it's causing the pressure to fluctuate, or the pressure fluctuates too much, that can also wear them out. So, yeah, man. And those things get dangerous, so be very careful with those. Urban Explorer Insights.com. Okay, he's got a link in there. Oh, for the dexterity test. Fantastic. I like that. Neil, thank you very much. Guys, look. Like I said, if you have not connected with the Urban Explorer, Will Rosebrock, any of these people, man, connect with them. If they're not here on LinkedIn, here on YouTube, connect with them on LinkedIn. Those of y'all that are not subscribed yet, subscribe. That way you get to see when I put up videos, you get to meet my people. But also, follow me over on LinkedIn. I put a lot of good videos over there, and we talk about some different things over there every now and then. You know what, Cruz, man, you are so right. Real plumbers don't use shark bites. And, here's the thing. I get my balls kicked in every time I say anything about shark bites. People complain about it. Oh, you're just old. You don't know what you're doing. This is modern technology. It's like, guys, look, I just know how to do it right. Don't know what else to tell you. Yes, dang 0088 da. Poop run downhill. Man, that is a good way to put it. Brandon Cox, Omaha journeyman plumber here. You're a turd herder, not a turd chaser. You know what? Man, I've been a turd herder my whole life. But chasing those leaks, think about it, especially here in my area. Man, slab leaks and leak detection are a big deal. We have become really, really good at it. And it helps secure business. Think about it. If I can send a drain cleaner out and he can run a camera when he's done, if he sees a break, he marks it, we can give somebody a price to fix it. They normally don't want to call to come back and unstop it again. So it's a pretty good business. We like it. Sorry about that, guys. It's been a long day. It's been a long weekend. I went down to San Antonio, or drove through San Antonio, went to Austin, through San Antonio, down to Corpus, stayed in Austin or Buda the first night, went to Corpus, went down for a wedding, a girl who's almost like my other daughter, went down for her wedding. It was beautiful. Her husband is a fisherman, runs fishing charters out of Corpus Christi. So any of y'all ever want to go fishing, give me a shout. I'll hook you up with the guy. Great guy. On the way back, woke up early yesterday morning, drove all the way back in from Corpus. Man, that's a long drive, but it's a lot of fun. Enjoyed it and got back here and was in Brighton early this morning. So another day in paradise. Bob Y, St. Louis metropolitan area. You notice I've been interested in vac excavating. Yes, sir. Have you spent any time at Vermeer or Ditch Witch to familiarize yourself with the latest technology? I have not, but it's really neat because I'll tell you this, Bob, getting to see that machine the other day, it blew my mind. And we do a lot of excavation under houses. And I know, and Bob told me this, have you only done the water vac kind or the air vac kind too? Because I've seen both, and I don't know how big a difference there is in them. I know that the water vac that I saw, dude, they dug 2 holes about 6 feet deep. Probably the first one, I'm going to say, was 4x4. The other one was probably 6x4, maybe 6x8. They dug these holes, had all the dirt vacuumed out and ready to work. And I'm going to say 30 to 45 minutes. It would take my dig crew a day to do that. So I'm always looking at some kind of opportunity to do things better. Will Journey. These are the main subjects that your local 130 union wants you to review. Here we go. Math, reading, mechanical comprehension, problem solving, and paper folding. You know, paper folding is that's a tough one. It's complicated. You've got to do it right or you will get a paper cut. It's the worst thing in life that can happen. Well, math, I get. Reading and mechanical comprehension, I get that, because the mechanical comprehension, and I've had guys that have worked for me that laugh at me. They're like, Roger, how do you do it? And I can walk up to a house. I know what the problem is. And I mean, just walking up, looking around, a lot of times I already know the problem. Now, is that mechanical comprehension? Is it 40 years experience? What is it? I don't know. But, man, learn to look at the entire system. And that's what I get from mechanical comprehension. Learn to look at the entire system and think, okay, if this is wrong, what caused this or what could have caused this? And look at that, because that's going to lead you in the right direction. I think that's great. Problem solving, man, I get that's the analytics. What caused this problem? Paper folding, I'm not real sure about. I would kind of have to ask them, what's this all about? Robert Parks, big fan. You're heading to your local 525 to become a helper in 2 weeks. Appreciate my videos. Man, I appreciate that. Mr. Parks, tell me, where is local 55 at? Make sure. Where is local 525 at? Man, there's 200 and I think 75 plumbing locals across the United States that do plumbing. A lot of them do pipe fitting, welding, things like that. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. I don't know where all the locals are. I know that we've put links in here before to help people find them, but man, let me know where it is. I'm curious. Will Journey, the book they provided for an extra fee has been very helpful. So Will, what book did they give you? Is it a union book or what? Just let me know, because I'm curious. I've got a lot of those books. Dritch. I've been saying that wrong. Dritch, Local 55 Ohio, aptitude test, basic math, English, mechanical reasoning, space relations, abstract reasoning, and Bennett hand manual dexterity test, which is hands-on. That's cool. And Neil, the Urban Explorer, put a link in there earlier to that. So I will check that out later. Neil, Dritch, thank you both very much. I definitely want to check those out. And we'll put a link to the study guide in there, guys. That study guide to me is the most amazing thing. And I've got another video where I show people how I use it. But I mean, I'm telling you that this is it. And literally what I do, if you go to it, you go to the chapter, I go through, I look up the answers in the back because it comes with the answers in there. I look up the answer and go through and highlight the correct answer. I don't highlight anything else. And then I go through, I read the question and read the answer, read the next question, read the next answer, and go through and do it like that. And I will read through this book 3 or 4 or 5 times before I go take a test. Then, about a week before, I go through and I test myself. And what I do is I cover up all the answers. I read the question. If I don't know 100% what the right answer is, I mark that question number in red. The reason I do that, for the next week, I'm going to come back through and I'm going to read through this book again. And all I'm going to do is read the red questions. I'm going to read it and make sure I know it. I'm going to read it and make sure I know it. And I'm going to do this again for a week. Guys, by the time I go in and take this test, normally I've got this book memorized. Now, I may not memorize it where I can quote it word for word, but I promise you that when I read a question that came out of this book, I know the answer. I know it without a doubt, and that helps. So, Will, thank you for putting that study guide in there. I appreciate it. Dylan Williams, hi, just a quick question. You were wondering if it would be possible to work in this industry only being able to drive during the day. You got a vision problem, so you're interested. Dylan, I would say, yeah. What I would do is you reach out to companies and become an apprentice. Talk to them about it. Say, guys, look, I've got vision problems. The lucky thing is nowadays with Uber, say you were on a job that went late, you just Uber home, Uber back in the next day. You've made enough overtime to pay for it. And man, that's a good possibility. But my thing is, if you talk to the company owner, the labor manager, whoever it is that hires you, you talk to your superintendent when you come out on a job, or if you work for a residential plumbing company like me, you just say, hey, look, I've got to be off at a certain time because at night I can't see. They don't want you driving their vehicles like that, so I think that they're going to work with you. Most of my guys don't have to work till it's dark. Now, maybe we do every now and then, but I would think that if one of my guys knew that another one couldn't drive, they'd be like, hey, look, I'll take you home. I'll come pick you up the next day, and we'll get you back to your van. So, and there's probably always a way to work something like that out. Hicks Plumbing Service, pull water lines and pipe. Durst, we try to do trenchless. Okay, so the pipe bursting, good for you. See, and I have people ask me about that all the time, and I've never done it. And I checked into, I think it was New Flow or something in the very beginning, and they wanted like $150,000 just to get the truck and get started. So, man, I was like, that's a lot of money, but pretty cool deal. I think it's really neat. Chachi, you're still not sure if you'd like to work in the union. You think you're going to start off working at an open shop, plumbing company. The only reason you would like to go to the trade school is for the knowledge. And, man, I get it. And Chachi, I'll tell you that, look, the union isn't for everybody. I think it's great for employees. I think if you're an employer and you're in the union, you're pretty stupid because it costs me a whole lot more for my plumbers. And don't get me wrong, if my union trained residential service, it'd be great. Mine doesn't. So my union can't give me plumbers. They don't train them in anything that I need, but they sure want my money every time it's due. That's for daggum sure. Man, I'm going to mess this one up. Jugador Natural. What and why is better, residential or commercial? And man, I can't answer that one for you. And I know that's funny because I've done both, but I prefer residential service. And don't get me wrong, I can't tell you why. I think it's the analytical, the customer service, the fact that I get to meet customers and talk to service. or talk to them about their service. In commercial, it's not like that. I never meet the building owner. Even man, normally when I go out to do a commercial service call, the owner's not the one around; it's the tenant or their person. Now, when I go out to a residential house and go out for a residential service call, normally it's the owner that's there, and that's who I'm getting to help. That's who I'm getting to work with, and I love that. Nothing will make you feel better than to help fix somebody's problem, especially when they thought it was going to be a really, really bad problem. Urban Explorer. Again, guys, if y'all have not connected with my mods, number one, Neil's phenomenal. Go watch what he's doing because we all do YouTube different. Watch what he does. He's doing some cool stuff. Wonder if all these things are in place because nowadays people seem to have less common sense. Neil, man, you nailed it right there. Push together fittings. I don't think a plumber would have ever come up with that. Now, I say that, but then again, if a plumber was out working on a car one day and saw a fuel line you just plug in and it didn't leak, he might think, hey, if we could do this in plumbing, look what it would do. So anything is possible. I just think a really good plumber is going to be like, man, I would never trust that. I love the solder joints. I love the seal floss joints. I love the fact that when I put that together and I make that up, I know I don't have anything to worry about. I also know that if I put in a shark bite fitting, I'd be awake all night long wondering, oh my God, what if that thing blows apart? So we all look at it different. We all see it different. And look, guys, if you use shark bites every day, I'm not saying anything bad about you. I'm just saying you really ain't a plumber. I'm joking. So let me see here. Derek Nutt, is there a meaningful difference between an apprentice position and a plumber's helper position? And there's really not. Derek, what I would tell you is that open shop normally calls them helper. Hey, we're going to send a helper with you. We're going to do this. The union normally calls them apprentices. And that's the way it was kind of put to me, because when I got in the union, I'm like, okay, wait, what's an apprentice? They're like, what's a helper? It's like, well, okay, why don't y'all call them helpers? Well, in the union are not helpers, they're apprentices. I would say that the only real difference is the apprentices going to school, getting an education through the union. Those union educations also turn into college hours. For somebody who never went to college, I've got 36 or 40 hours, something like that. I think I got 32 for my UA STAR exam, which is the deal the union has set up or had set up, where you could take an exam. It's like an aptitude test to determine how smart you are in plumbing, and they give you credit for college classes based on what you've learned through plumbing, science, mathematics, all kinds of different things. So there's a lot of good things about it and a lot of cool things to it, but really that's the only difference. So Derek Nutt, I hope that helped. Barney Films 85, your boss just came out last week and said straight out that he was not willing to invest in training. Us, as you had asked about coming with to learn more about boilers, just wanting to be your own boss or waiting. You know what? I get it. And the only way you're ever going to get everything you want is to do it your way. And that may mean you have to open your own company one day, may mean you have to invest in your own training. There's a lot of companies out there that do a lot of good training. And hopefully as I get closer to sponsorship deals, I'm going to introduce you to some of those companies because, man, I tell you what, there are some great companies out there. And guys, I'm not just talking plumbing. I'm talking the trades. There are some great companies out there. Well, Journey, the book is zero. I don't understand. I've never seen the book Zero, or maybe it's, Gustavo Valenzuela. You just got done doing an apprenticeship in the union about plumbing, and you were wondering if you can give me an advice with starting in plumbing. You're a senior in high school about to graduate. You just got done doing an apprenticeship in this union about plumbing. Okay, so Gustavo, apparently I'm missing something here. You're interested in doing an apprentice in plumbing, or you have already done it? It sounds like you're just graduating or fixing to. Now you want to go be a plumber. So tell me where you're at and where you're located. Where are you at in your career? Do you have any experience, or are you wanting to get it? And where are you located? Robert Parks, Las Vegas. Man, I was out in Vegas a couple of weeks ago. I'll be back there again in September. I went out there for the K-Biz show, the Kitchen and Bath Industry show, and I love it. If y'all have never checked out K-Biz, the NKBA, the National Kitchen and Bath Association, some great people. If you hadn't seen the videos that I did where I was walking through out there and doing some things, check those out. It's actually pretty cool, and man, there's a lot of neat things going on out there. So, Robert, thank you, sir. I had a blast out there. Stayed at Circus. I will probably never do that again, but the steakhouse is amazing, and the convention center is really, really cool. So, man, I had fun. A lot of fun out in Vegas. America the Brave is back in the house. How are you doing? Question, what is a reasonable wage for an apprentice, first year or second, in Georgia open shops? Pay 11, but fast food 14 to 15. Is it wrong to ask for 14 or 15? No, I don't think so. I would probably ask for more than that and hope that they'll come down and settle at 14 or 15. Do you have any experience at all? How hard a worker are you? And when I say that, guys, look, we all think we're hard workers till a hard worker shows up. And, that's something that's going to set you apart throughout your entire career. The big deal is, man, you want to be the very best at what you do. And whether you're working hard by studying, whether you're working hard by learning more, whatever it is, there's a lot of different opportunities. But my thing is, you want to make sure that you bring a lot to the table. And I've got videos about how to be the best apprentice, how to do this, how to do that. There's a lot of things you can study. There's a lot of information that you can learn to bring to the table. I go back to, I listen to Jim Rohn. I listen to motivational speaking. I listen to Tony Robbins, John Maxwell, Gary Vee, a lot of people. But I remember Jim Rohn talking about Mr. Shelf, his mentor. And Mr. Shelf said, hey, look, how much money do you make? And he said, well, I make this much. He said, wow, that's it. He says, well, that's all they'll pay me. He says, really, that's all they'll pay you? He said, your company does not pay any more than that. He said, well, yeah, they pay more than that. They pay other people more than that. I said, okay, so they think other people are more valuable than you. And guys, when you look at it and listen to it like that, what value is it you're not bringing? Because, and I had somebody in here a couple of weeks ago ask me, said, hey, look, how come I'm always one of the first ones to get laid off? And man, my thing is look, I've never been the guy to get laid off on a job, but don't get me wrong. I may have been asked to leave a job because they don't like my attitude or something, but I've never got laid off because I wasn't the hardest worker or because I didn't know what I was doing or I wasn't willing to do it. And, my thing is, learn to be the very best apprentice that you can be and learn how to think ahead for your plumber. And I tell a story about being up on a ladder and I needed some fittings and I'm sitting up here looking at what all I need to finish. And I turn around and this apprentice is standing here with a handful of fittings. And I looked at him, I said, well, clean them for me. He says, they're already clean. This kid was looking at what I was doing, looking at what direction I was going, how I was going to turn, what I was going to need, and had picked all this up and put all this together. And guys, that's huge because to know what somebody needs next is a great way to move ahead. Because if he can look at me and do that, man, he can probably get up there and pop it. So now I can get out and start looking at the next one and start figuring out what can I do here to get further ahead here. And it's all about what kind of value we bring. And, I talked a while ago about Jim Rohn and Mr. Shelf. They pay somebody what they pay them because of the value they bring. If I've got a journeyman plumber that can install 10 water heaters a day, he's worth more to me than a plumber that can install 2 a day. Now, I know that that's a big stretch and a big reach, and you're going to say nobody can do 10 a day. I agree, although I have seen it done. But my thing is, what kind of value do you bring? What kind of value do you want to bring? And I know that this was a really in-depth answer, but America the Brave, it's what value are you going to bring? And man, learn to be the best apprentice anybody's ever seen. Because if you can be that kind of apprentice, you can be that kind of a journeyman. And that's a huge deal. Victor James. How do I deal with bullying from other trades on the job site? Well, number one, Victor, if you're a plumber, there should be no bullying going on. We all give each other a hard time on the job sites as as trades. On a job site, we all pretend to hate each other. But I tell you what, we should all be working together. We should all be becoming good friends. We should all be doing everything in the world we can to help each other, because you know what? The longer we go without more people getting in the trades, the more money we're going to make, the more we're going to rely on each other to help each other to make our jobs easier. And to be serious, there should never be bullying on the trades. I know that I've got videos where I talk about plumber versus electrician. And look, I love some of the electricians that I get to work with. Don't get me wrong. Some of them are a pain in the butt, but for the most part, there's some good guys, and we all understand, man, we're all trying to do the same thing. We're trying to build something, or we're trying to fix something. So learning how to work together, man, pretty cool. KD, he knows how to think. Man, that's it. How do you do that? Troy Ketchen, how are you? Good to have you back in here. 10 water heaters a day that are using shark bites. No. When I saw a plant, and actually I think they installed like 12 or 14, I say he. But the way that was done, we were doing piecework on apartments, and we had an apprentice scattering, meaning he'd carry the water heaters, he'd have them in the room, uncrated, ready to go. The plumber that I'm talking about actually prefabbed about 40 risers. So literally, man, walk on, screw on the union, put your adapter on, cut a 90, cut a piece, hook it up. They were electric. There was no flue. There was no gas. And I want to say that it was about 14 or 16 that got done. But literally, all he's doing, he's got nothing but the tools he needs for a water heater. He's walking into a room, onto the back patio, going to the closet. The water heater's already in position. All he's got to do is cut the wall, put the valve on, measure a piece, tie it all in, solder it all up, move on to the next one. And actually, I think he's turning the valve on. That way, whenever they turn the water back onto the building, it started filling them all up at the same time. So, man, it can be done. It definitely can be done. Will Journey, sorry the phone died on me, but the book is, the book is through GAN, Human Resources, Inc., but you're going to check out my study guide for sure. I want to find out more about that book, and I'll look at that, the GAN, Human Resources, Inc., just because I'm pretty interested in that. The more the better. There you go. Dylan Williams, would you ever let someone shadow you? It depends on what you mean. I'm talking about grabbing one of my videographers, or grabbing a videographer. I've got a marketing director and a videographer. Normally the videographer's busy editing. I don't know if y'all have seen, I've got a YouTube channel. I put videos out. Kind of crazy, huh? If you hadn't done it, go subscribe and check it out. I actually put out some good videos. But I've got some great people that do things with me. And what we've talked about doing is going out and having them do a day in the life of a plumber, where they would actually just come in right along with me and see what I do, where I go, see how things are going. And actually, I'm going to pause for just a second. I've never done this, so I think it's going to work fine. I'm going to pause for just 1 second. My guys just came in. I want to holler at them, so give me 1 second. Thank you guys. Sorry about that. Man, I'm glad we'll put that in. Be right back. We're in the middle of a slab leak and a leak detection. And actually, it's really leak location. And, I've told y'all before about the leak detection equipment and the cameras that we use and things like that. And I think I've truthfully got some of the best equipment out there. And I've done homework to find out what's the best. I've brought it in. I've tried it. I've used it, and I love it. And those are some of the people that we're talking to about possible sponsorship opportunities. I know that y'all see that my sponsorship wall is still empty, but we are working on that. There's no logo on my shirt. There's no sign on the wall. You didn't hear me come in saying this show's sponsored by. Nothing at all like that. But they've been over doing a leak location. We think that we figured out where it is. And, man, it's great because the lady who owns this house is, man, she's been jacked over by some bad plumbing companies. And I hate that because I get out in my line of work and I get to see that a lot. I get to get out and see where other plumbing companies have done things that maybe aren't right. And like I said, I hate to see it, but God, guys, it happens. And our thing is, man, we always try to do the right thing. So when we get out and we do things like that, when we come in and locate the problem, what we always, number one, stay in communications with the customer. Let the customer know what's going on, why it's going on, what we think caused it. And guys, don't get me wrong, the insurance companies, they always want to know, well, what caused this? I'm sure this is just, slow deterioration of the pipe. It's just natural causes, whatever. And man, I don't always know, but we did one the other day that looked like a break at the bottom of the slab, and it didn't look like it had been a long-term decaying of the pipe or anything. It just looked like it broke. And the insurance companies don't like it when I tell them that because I tell them exactly what I think, but I'm always honest with them. So you never know. So would I ever let somebody shadow me? We're talking about doing it with a camera guy. And I say camera guy, I have better than camera guys, but, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. Yes, I would. I don't know if I'd let another plumber or apprentice or somebody shadow me because I got so many things going on. Kevin Drake Fitness. Roger, please answer. Red alert. Your manager told you that they may let me go after 1 week, that you need to prove myself. They commented that you were slow, but the one big reason is they don't have work for you, I guess. Okay, so are we talking fitness work or are we talking plumber work? And I asked because of your name, Kevin Drake Fitness. If you're talking plumbing, and guys, here's the thing is, and I tell apprentices this all the time, look, go back and watch some of my videos when I tell you, here's what I would do to be the best apprentice. Look at what the other apprentices are doing. Look at what you can do to get better. What can you study? What can you learn? What can help you become productive? As a company owner, I've had apprentices that wanted to play Pokemon all day long on the phone. That guy's making me no money. He's doing nothing for me. If all I'm doing is paying you to be there, it's not a good deal for me. But if I'm paying you to help make money for the company, that's what it's all about. And guys, when you learn to look at it like that, and that's part of my problem, why the union doesn't like me. Because the companies that I worked for, the mechanical contractors that I worked for, man, we've got to keep them in business. We have to bust our butt for them. We have to make them money. We have to make them look good. We have to help them make profit. That's what keeps them in business. And the thing is, if they're in business, we have paychecks. If they're in business, we have money coming in. And I always tell my crews this whenever I used to start a big job, whenever I'd get, my big crews in. And I mean, I've had crews up to 100 people at some points. And the things that I always tell them is, guys, look, you may not like this job. You may not like the contractor we're working for. You don't have to like anything about it. But what you have to understand is these people are paying for your clothes, your food, your family, your house, your vehicle. They are making your payments for you for as long as you're on this job. So what I want you to do is show them respect and be grateful for this opportunity. And some people don't like that. And I mean, if you're on my job and you don't like it, get your ass out of here. I'm sorry, but man, this is about doing the right thing for the customers that we have. And if we are constantly working for our customer, whether it's somebody we're subbing from, the general contractor we're working for, or whether it's the homeowner, as long as we understand that's who we're working for, those are the people that we need to take care of, man, we're always going to do good. So I go back and ask you, Kevin, what is it they're saying you're slow? If it's just that they're slow, that they don't have any work, man, if they're paying you hourly and you don't have anything to do, get up and sweep the floors in the shop. Get up and organize the shop. Carry the trash out. I used to have an apprentice say, hey, man, can I clean the bathrooms? Like, you know what? If you don't have anything to do, man, I'm fine with it. But it let me know he wanted to work. What do you want to do? And look, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, be a suck up or anything like that. But if they're paying you for 8 hours work, 8 hours work is what they should get. And look, I'm not saying you're not, so please don't take this wrong. But guys, what can you do to be better than the other people there? Because sometimes that's what's going to mean the difference as to who they keep, who they let go of, or where they're at. Victor Jimenez, non-union plumbers are making more than union plumbers in Florida. You're in the union in Florida and you're starting to feel like it wasn't worth it. What do you think? Victor, are you talking on the check? Are you talking total package? Because I know what plumbers around here make. Now, and let me correct this. I know what plumbers around here make on the construction side. Are you service or are you construction? And I'm really interested in this conversation, Victor. So man, holler back at me, because I'm talking to plumbing companies across the nation that are trying to do service and find out how they're doing it. Because, man, I get my ass handed to me every week, because as an employer, my benefits package and everything's almost $45 an hour. Actually, it is $45. So where all the other plumbers are getting paid $25, $30 an hour, I pay my guys $45. Well, at $25, $30 an hour, they can give a spiff package or a bonus package or this, and that's all the people see. But they don't see that I'm already paying their pension plan, their insurance, things like that. So big opportunity here. But Victor, I'm definitely interested in talking to you more. Troy Ketchen, all the same location. Cool deal. Kevin, you love plumbing and don't want to stop, but now your job is on the line. I told me that the drywall guy we work with likes your hard work and wants to hire me. Please, any advice helps. Man, I would tell you this. Number one, Kevin, I wouldn't want to do drywall, but man, one of my best friends, Paul Peck Drywall Tube, is, and he's great at it and he loves it. And if you go watch his videos, you might find out, hey, this is something you may enjoy more. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that I'm a problem solver, and that to me is what I enjoy. That's why I do residential service. I love the analytical side, the thought process. Okay, this is wrong. What's causing this? And that's a big deal to me. So anyway, just kind of looking at it like this. And I want to throw this out while I'm in here right now, because I just thought about it. Guys, I probably won't be doing this next week because I'm going to be in San Diego at Social Media Marketing World, learning how to do YouTube better, how to do social media better. Got a lot of things I'm working on, and I'm really excited about it, but I probably won't be doing a live next week. If I do, it may be just because I grabbed my phone, set it up in the hotel room or the lobby at Social Media Marketing World and went live just to see what we can do. So anything's possible. Is there no other companies about, Kevin? Yeah, and that's true. Kevin, are there any other companies around that now you can go to and say, hey, look, I do have some experience as an apprentice plumber, and I'm interested in learning this and this. And that's a good way to look at it, Neil. Thank you so much. Gustavo, what's the best way you can learn to be a great plumber, union or open shop? Gustavo, I think that to learn plumbing, I think the union's probably got a better training program. I mean, I know they do because open shop doesn't have, unless you go to PHCC, CEF. There's a lot of different. Matter of fact, got Anthony Paquia on Facebook just announced the other day that they have built a plumbing school up in, I don't remember if it was Pittsburgh or New York, 100 acres, indoor, outdoor, all kinds of cool things. He's a neat guy. And matter of fact, I've reached out to him. I want him to do some things with me. Uh, and man, I really like him. I think he's a smart guy. I've read a lot of things he's done on his Facebook page, and man, I'm wanting to hook up with him and see if there's anything that we can do together to help educate more people. But I kind of like that. So I think the union has a better training program, but I think you can learn just as much open shop. But then again, Gustavo, I turn back around. Are you doing service or new construction, residential or commercial? Because that may determine where you need to be. My local union doesn't teach residential service, and it kills me. I mean, man, they can't give me help. They can't give my guys training. They can't do anything in the world for me. So it's pretty bad. Okay, so you've only got 2 months experience, but at least now you can walk in, Kevin, and say, hey, look, I do have some experience. I know how to do this. I know how to do this. I'm a hard worker, yada, yada, yada. And man, dress like the plumber. Look like the job that you want and come in and speak very well about it. And then, man, you got a good shot at it. Even if companies are not hiring, send them off a CV, and you never know what they could be looking at. How got like you know what is a CV? Resume. There you go. Curriculum vitae. Now, you're way too smart to be in here, Neil. I just tell you, that's pretty good. Victor Jimenez, unfortunately, you feel like right to work states are hurting the unions, and you want to stay union. Man, hey brother, I'm in Texas, biggest right to work state there is. And you're right, it does hurt the unions, but until open shop people find out the value of the union, it's never going to help. I've even reached out to the union. Man, and if any of y'all are here in the union, reach out to the United Association and say, hey, why aren't y'all sponsoring Roger and letting him tell more people about it? Because it's time for me to get sponsorships so I can do different things and tell more people and try to help recruit. So curriculum vitae. I like that. Neil, you're definitely too smart for us, brother. Shamar Miller. It's so hard to find an apprenticeship outside of the union. Nobody ever gets back to you. It's ridiculous. So, my question is, Shamar, where all are you applying, and what kind of jobs are you looking for? Because I know here in Dallas, in Texas, we're short plumbers. And when I say we're short, I mean the plumbing industry is. The Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners will tell you, look, we're short plumbers. They have so many people applying for tests. They've got a backlog. But I think the state of Texas is doing things wrong, and that's helping lead to the problem. But man, there's a lot going on. I truthfully think that if you want a plumbing job these days, you can find one. It may not be easy, but getting in, applying at a company like you want to work for, and then following up with it. Man, I think people can get jobs really if they try hard enough. And man, it's tough. I get it, but man, keep hustling it. It's out there. Kevin, they pay minimum wage. Ooh. So it's not a huge job loss, but you want to stay in the trade. Yeah. I'd do like Neil said, Kevin. I would put a resume together, or maybe not even a resume. Just, man, what kind of plumber do you want to be? Residential, commercial, service, or new construction? Find out what company around does the kind of work that you want to do. And man, I'd be over every other day knocking on the door saying, hey guys, look, I just want to remind y'all, I really do want to work here. See how it works out. America the Brave, union guy came to our school last week. He said, well, when he finished, he will pay us $17 an hour. But you would probably have to restart your apprenticeship again, and you're close to a year in. And America the Brave, I'll tell you this, you don't always have to start over. If, say they had 60 people in their first year class and only 40 made it through to the end, if you've got experience and they already have 60 people they want to be in, they can promote you up to a second year. It's an interview process. You go in, you talk to them, tell them where you're at and what you've learned and why you think you can move ahead. And man, it's a possibility. Okay, Kevin, you said they're running out of work. Then, man, here's my thing is you probably want to get away anyway. And what I mean by that is they're not making the phone ring. They're not looking for work. They're not doing the things they should do to keep everybody busy. Now, don't get me wrong. Normally the first months of the year get slow because people are already looking at April. What are we going to do for tax time? And man, here's the deal, guys, is look, you've got to be ready for the seasons. And again, I go back to Jim Rohn. Look, we know every year, this time of year, in not just in service and plumbing, it normally slows down a little bit. And remember, I told y'all earlier, plumbing is recession proof because, and what I mean is, if their toilet's running, they're going to get it fixed. If it stopped up, they're going to get it fixed. But here's where the recession does happen. At the beginning of the year, after Christmas till about March, April, whenever people figure out how much they're going to spend on taxes and do they have it, they start slowing down their spending. They're thinking about Uncle Sam. And what happens is they may fix that stopped up toilet. They may fix that break in the sewer line, but they're not just going to say, hey, I want a whole house water filtration system, or I want new toilets, or I want to remodel the bathroom. Normally, that doesn't happen until after April 15th. Now they've got extra money. They either want to get things done or they want to take care of problems that came up beforehand. So kind of bad, but that's the way it is. Okay, Kevin, it's a small company, really small company. You're learning slow. They said that you should know more by now. And Kevin, that's where I go back to what I said before. You know, do you have a copy of the study guide? Are you studying it? And guys, go back and look at some of my videos. Whenever I talk about becoming an apprentice and how to become a good apprentice, if I show you today how to put the lid on this Yeti, and tomorrow we're at work and I say, do me a favor, there's 10 Yetis over there, put the lids on them, and you're like, okay, how do I do that? There's a communication problem, a skills gap. There's something here. And I've had apprentices like that, so I understand it. When you've got to tell apprentice, 10 times, hey, when you hand me that 90, clean it first. If we're running water, flux it. If you hand me a piece of copper, if I tell you I need a piece of copper 6.5 inches long and it's 7, because you're like, well, I really didn't figure a half inch of matter. Guys, there's a lot of things to think about. What are you listening to? What are you learning? And what are you paying attention to? One thing every apprentice should learn is the journeyman or the owner. People should never have to tell you twice to do something. And what I mean by that is if I tell you or take you out and show you how to change a Sloan flush valve, you should learn it. I should not need to tell you again. Now, if we do one this year and one 5 years from now, that's a little bit different. But if it's something that you're doing over and over every day, repetitious, man, you should understand that. And Kevin, I'm not saying you're not. I'm trying to reach out and say, okay, anytime I've told someone you should know more by now, it's because I've showed them a lot of things. Are they picking it up or not? And man, I'd love to talk more with you and say, hey, look, here's what I would do. Number one, it starts with the study guide. Learn plumbing. Number two, go back through my videos where I talk about becoming an apprentice, getting into the trade. How are you studying? What are you studying? Are you learning? I worked with a plumber. The very first plumber I worked with, man, he wanted me hands off. He wanted me to watch. He didn't want me to touch anything. He would not let me stand next to him when he read the blueprints. So I would go to the other side of the sheetrock. I would literally, when they were throwing away a set of blueprints, I'd either carry them home because I wanted to learn how to read them, or I'd just carry the cover page home and learn all the symbols. I wanted to learn. I was a freaking sponge. I could not learn it fast enough. What are you doing, or what kind of student are you? Guys, no matter what trade you're in, if you want to be the best, it takes time. You have to learn that you have to study and you have to practice to do things right. I used to ask them, look, can I carry copper fittings home? I want to learn to solder. I bought a torch. I bought a B-tank. I wanted to learn to solder. And, what are you doing? Are you willing to learn? Do you want to learn? And are you willing to work hard enough to learn it better than anybody else? Because that's what it's going to take to be a better plumber than anybody else. And we go back to, me talking about the apprentice couple of weeks ago or whatever saying, look, I'm always the first one to get laid off. Okay, you probably not the hardest worker on the job. So at a small company, I can't tell you that, Kevin. It may just be, man, look, they're just slow. But my thought process is they probably didn't hire you unless they wanted you and wanted you to grow and become a plumber. So, man, there's a lot of studying that can be done to help you learn things, to help you learn more and help you move ahead. And man, it's just kind of up to you. Victor Jimenez, you're new in construction. You get more in the package. Okay. But they see more on their checks. You won't see your pension till you're 55 and now you're 25. Okay. Now here's the cool thing about this, Victor. Now I love that you put it that way. You're 25 now. At 55, you're going to be able to retire. And I want you to think about that because I'm 56. I'm still working. I'm working multiple jobs, meaning I have other companies that I own and I do a lot of things. The thing that I will tell you is when you're 55, if you're in the union, you're going to retire with a full pension. If you're 25 years now, and I don't know how long you've been in the union, but if you put in 30 years, if you work any overtime, it's going to count as 35 by the time you get your additional time served. But at 55, which would have been for me a year, almost and a half ago, I'd be able to retire with a full pension. They're not going to be able to. And I say that because remember, I told y'all the first two plumbers that I worked for, I loved them. They were great, smart, still to this date, some of the best plumbers I've ever worked with. I will tell you this, they're both still working. One is 72, one is 70. And I'm pretty close. It may be a little off, but it may be 70 and 68. But guys, they're still working because they have to. They have to bring in an income because they don't have a pension. They don't have a retirement. They did not have a savings plan that put up enough for them to live on. So when I tell you this, Victor, man, think about it. At 55, you're going to be able to retire and you're going to live a comfortable life. The guys that you're talking about that make more than you right now, they're not going to be able to. And I know that because that's why I'm union. I wish our union could find a way to make our package better as a residential service company because I could use help. But my thing is, the reason I'm union is I want to take care of people like you. I want to know you're going to be able to retire one day. You're not going to have to work till you're 70. And that's a big deal to me. So, Victor, man, I hope that helped a little bit. And guys, if y'all would, I'm going to scroll down just a second. Please don't write a whole lot more questions because it is time for me to go. But I do see that we have the wonderful, amazing Josephine DeSmet in here. And Miss Josephine, how are you today? It is good to have you in here. I'm going to scroll back up a little bit more. But guys, please don't write any more questions. I should have already gone, but I do have to leave here in about 10 minutes or so. But man, I love this. I love talking about this. And let me ask y'all a crazy question. I'm working on a podcast. If I did a podcast, would y'all listen to it? And I'm asking that for a reason, but I'm just kind of curious. Do y'all listen to podcasts? And I don't just mean if I did one, would you listen? Do you listen to podcasts? And you can say, yeah, Roger, we'd listen to yours, but it may not be what you're used to listening to. So I don't know. Do you listen to podcasts now? Because I do some. I've never been a hardcore podcast kind of person. So I'm just kind of curious about that. Man, Victor, you're in the right spot, brother. Waverly, when you join the Plumbers Union and you're taught pipe fitting, what is your official title as a union worker? It is a journeyman pipe fitter. There's journeyman pipe fitters, journeyman plumbers, and I think even a welder is certified as a pipe fitter, but he gets his weld certs on top of it, and that's what creates the difference. America the Brave, it seems only in the USA that plumbing is losing a lot of people compared to the other Western world. It seems that in the USA, only they do push trades. Why is they don't push trades? And man, you're right. It's because we pushed college for so many years. We told every student in school, you've got to go to college. And that was the wrong thing to do because we kept telling them, look, if you don't go to college, you're not going to have a good living. You're not going to live a good life. You're not going to do this. You're not going to do that. And to be honest, it's BS. Those of y'all that have been in here the whole time, I was talking earlier, look, I know plumbers and electricians that make over $100,000 a year easy. I know college graduates that don't. Now, don't get me wrong. I know college graduates that do too, but I also know plumbers and electricians that are millionaires. So, man, it's just like anything else. You can do with it what you want, but the big problem here is, and I do, man, I'm glad that you put it the way you did, is we pushed kids for so long telling them they needed to go to college. They had to go to college if they were going to be anything. And, man, it's just not true. That's why I speak so highly about the trades. I think it's great for a lot of people. And I think there's a lot of people that they've been told so long it's a bad job that if they don't go to college, they don't know what to do because they don't want a bad job. And man, to me, that's sad because, man, the trades is a great way to make a living. Sean L., do unions like hiring veterans? Absolutely. Well, being a veteran helped me get selected. You just applied for the Chicago Plumbing Union. Take the test March 2nd. Sean, what I would tell you is reach out to the United Association. They've got a veteran liaison or something. What I would do is they've got a thing called helmets to hard hats and got veterans in the trades, veterans in piping, something like that, VIP program. Man, check into it. Anything that you can check into to help. Yeah, they have programs for that. So I think that's great. So you're in Chicago, Sean. Are you wanting to be a plumber, a pipe fitter, a welder, HVAC tech? What are you trying to do? Just curious. Okay, so the plumbing union. Okay, I guess I answered that one myself. Man, they've got a neat hall up there. I've heard that they're training residential service. Supposed to be one of the best United Association plumbing training facilities there is. I think that's great. Sean L., is it true when you get hired with the union, there is a lot of layoffs? You know what, Sean, I talked about this earlier. And if you're a hard worker, normally you don't get laid off. They want to keep their best people. In 25 years now in the union, I guess, I've never been laid off. I drug up a couple of times. Had disagreements with people and left a couple of times, but I've never been laid off because work was slow or because I didn't work or anything like that. So, man, if you get in, Sean, and with a military background, you've normally got the right mindset. You get in, work hard, and try to be the best, dude, you'll be fine. Medagger plays Daisy. You were residential but went to commercial and you love it. And see, man, I'm just the opposite. And I say that. I've done commercial and residential both. I've bounced back and forth from 97 to about 2015. So almost 20 years I did nothing but commercial. Got out and opened my own company, all residential, and I love it. Victor Jimenez, do you know which cities are booming with new construction for plumbing? Victor, I bet you can Google it. And every time I'm in New York and Vegas, got Orlando, God, where have I been lately? LA. Man, there's cranes everywhere. So that's a good thing. Vegas is huge for commercial all the time. Josephine DeSmet, hope I'm having an awesome day. You know what, Josephine, now that you're in here, I am. It's good to see you in here. Thank you so much. Jim Brandt, we need to do class for new masters, help them avoid pitfalls we hit when we were young. You know what? There's a lot of things that I'm working on to help people. And hopefully we can get it all finished up and together here pretty soon. Because, man, you're right. New masters, new RMPs, people that are trying to open their own companies. I have people reach out to me all the time saying, look, I need help. And, man, I want to help. I'm still trying to run a plumbing company. I need to either sell or get an operations manager that can jump in and run the thing and do it right. Because I want to do more on social media to help more people. So anyway, it's looking amazing. But you're right, we need to. Sean L., what happens to guys in the union that aren't good at their job? Do they get laid off or just get stuck doing all the dirty work? And it's probably a little bit of both. I mean, Sean, think about it. If you've got a guy on your crew that can't do things as good or better than everybody else, you either eventually let him go or you want to get rid of him and get somebody in here that can do it better, or, you just put him on the menial dirty work that nobody wants to do. That way nobody else complains about it. So It's a bad spot to be in. Let's see. We're getting down towards the bottom. Guys, remember, please, no more questions. I am trying to get out of here. Haven't been lately. Okay, so Josephine and Neil are chatting about good stuff, man. Josephine's on a break. That's amazing. Josephine, what time is it over in Belgium? Okay, I like that. Josephine says if you sell stick-on mustaches like they sell at the carnival store, but like mine, more specific, you would buy it. Just saying. You know what, Josephine? I was doing Earth Day at Fair Park last year. We're a green plumber, so we get asked to do stuff like that a lot. And I don't know if you've ever seen Texas Green Plumbing Man. If you haven't, go check him out on Facebook. He is a rock star. That's all I'm going to say. Looks a lot like me. I'm just a lot more handsome. He's probably got a little bit better body. He probably works out a little bit more. But, man, we looked for those mustaches to try to do that. I wanted to do it. It would have been cool. Urban Explorer. Normally do it for the USA. Okay. Josephine. Man of Meaning. Yes. How are you? Good to have you in here. America the Best. Thanks for all. You are more than welcome, sir. Ethan Grantham. Thank you for coming back in here. Is a mechanical service plumber a good way to start a career? You just got hired on to a big company. You know what? Where they're coming up with mechanical, I don't know, unless it's going to be working on boilers, chillers, things like that. Man, a commercial service plumber is a great job, just like a residential service plumber is. It's all analytics. I've done it all, guys. I love building things. I love fixing things. I love commercial and residential. I love the plumbing trade, and it's really neat. I love the plumbing trade. So I love what I do. But like I said, I need to find somebody come in here and take over for me so I can step out and do more social media. I've got people from around the country asking me to help them, and that's what I want to do. Social media is a great thing. It's put me in a good spot where I have a great opportunity. I love what I do, and I want to help people, so it's a cool deal. So Josephine is 37 minutes after midnight. So, man, you're, 7 hours ahead of us. Well, Josephine, I love that you stay up and visit. I love seeing you in the mornings with Nick and Dee. It's great seeing you here. One day you're going to have to come over for Social Media Marketing World. I'm headed there Saturday. I get up early Saturday, get on a plane, go to San Diego. I'm in class Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So like I said, guys, I won't be here probably Monday evening like I am. If I do it, it'll be from San Diego, and I don't want it glitching a lot, so I don't know if I will or not, but it's a possibility. We may try. We will see how it goes. Man, I'm meaning Phoenix is growing fast. Man, there's construction was in Phoenix. There were a lot of cranes there. Enrique, 18-year-old apprentice plumber, just wanted to say thank you. Man, you are welcome. I hope you're subscribed and ringing the bell so that every time we do stuff, you get to see it, and it works. Y'all are lucky. I can't see how many thumbs up I got today. Been trying to do good things. I hope it's worked. I hope y'all like it. You'll wear it to Vid Summit. I tell you what. So Josephine, are you going to Vid Summit next year? Is that what that means? If so, I will see you there because I plan on being there. Neil, you need to check it out, brother. All I'm telling you, man, he's a pretty cool dude. His superpower is leak detection. Just saying. Yeah, absolutely. It's all about money. Planning on Social Media Marketing World next year. Neil is, I'm assuming, and Josephine is. I'll tell you what, guys. Look, the people that we meet in here, I've never met Josephine. I love her to death. Neil, I love him like a brother. Hung out with him in San Diego. These relationships that you make on here are real. You meet good people, and it's really a lot of fun. And yes, I'm going to Vid Summit this year. I'm getting ready to head that way. Matthew Nicholson. He has a better body, but I'm more handsome. Perfect combo of honesty and confidence. See? And y'all need to go. Yeah, it's funny. And I love the way you put that, Matthew, because one of the very first videos that I did, y'all know I did not name myself the expert plumber. American Standard did. And I won a contest that they were running called the Plumber Know-How Contest. Plumber Know-How Contest. They were looking for their next expert plumber. And that's the way they worded it. Well, I won it. But it was really funny because they asked me in the beginning, my videographers did. We were in there setting up, getting everything going. And one of my videographers looked at me and said, so tell me 2 things about Roger Wakefield that most people don't know. I said, I look good and I smell great. And I mean, there were 2 videographers. My wife was in there. And I mean, everybody just started laughing. I looked at them. I was like, what? It's true. I hear it all the time. Matthew, look, I'm not cocky. I'm comfortable. I have fun. I love what I do. And I love making people smile, love making them laugh. And Josephine, I can't wait to see you in San Diego next year. Neil, man, my brother from another mother, looking forward to it too. So Neil, I'm assuming you're going to be at Vid Summit and Social Media Marketing World next year. So that'll be great. Already bought your ticket. I love it. Josephine, that is so cool. Flowright Plumbing is the United Kingdom plumbing as an occupation considered a top job. Good plumbers can make whatever they want if they put the hours in. Man, I would think no matter where you're at, you can. Neil, you may know more about this than I do. Man, I know some plumbers over in the United Kingdom that are doing pretty good on social media. I don't know if they're making money plumbing or not, but I would think so. Okay, Josephine, there you go. Not social media. And you may have said Vid Summit, and I may have said Social Media Marketing World. I'm getting ready for Social Media Marketing World next week. That's why I asked. But I'm looking forward to seeing you at Vid Summit too. It's funny because I actually filled out an application to request to be a speaker there at Vid Summit to Daryl Eves. Great guy. So yes, I love that. Josephine, Neil, flat prices, good as I smell. Hey, I do smell great. Problem is the cologne I was wearing at the time, they don't make anymore. I've reached out to Mont Blanc and told them, look, I really wish y'all fix this, but it is what it is. Josephine, I got a question, and I'm fixing to get out of here. I really do got to go. What are you going to college for? What are you going to be when you grow up? Not that you're not grow up, so I didn't mean it that way. Please don't take it wrong. I think the world of you. You know that. Ringo Hayes made it in here. Good to have you, brother. Plumber's Plumbing in the house. I get it. I like that. And that's a neat name. I like that. You explained that. Plumber's Plumbing. That's a neat company name. You know what? If Daryl picks me, I'm going to have a blast because I'll tell you what, I do. I love it. So Josephine, if you get this, guys, I'm going to have to get off here. Okay, so you had to put price in pounds in here, Neil. Really? Man, we don't know what that is. We are, I started to say Americans. We're all kinds of things, but we're plumbers. We don't know math, especially not how to transfer or convert pounds to dollars. And I'm playing with you, brother. I think the world of you. You know that. Study retail management. Love to make money as a singer-songwriter. But until then, that works out. Be a recruiter. If you can, you'll be working in human resources. Good for you. With your attitude, you'll do great. Guys, if you hadn't followed the Urban Explorer, check him out. If you have not subscribed to Josephine DeSmet, go over and check her music out. See what she does. She is great. Oh, my God. So $9,000 to just for airfare. Man. So anyway, go over and subscribe to Josephine DeSmet. Go subscribe to Neil at the Urban Explorer. I'm fixing to get out of here, guys. I have thoroughly enjoyed this. This has been a great evening. As you see, I went way over. Actually, I did. I went almost 2 hours. You've been working on some new stuff. Oh, you know what? I like everything you do, so I will. I'm looking forward to that. I want to say thanks to Neil. Thanks to Josephine for coming in. I know that Paul Peck's not in here, but guys, he's another great moderator I've got. Thanks to William Rosebrock. And man, here's the deal. Guys, we love what we do. We have fun. I've Got great people, great connections here. I love these people. Josephine, I can't wait to see you in LA. Neil, man, again, looking forward to it. We're going to have fun. Just like always, we are going to have fun. Ben Weaver, thank you, sir. Man, there's been a lot of people jumping in here tonight. Looking forward to it like always. Anyway, guys, I hope y'all have enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be fun. Like I said, I probably won't be here next week, but I may try from San Diego. If not, I'll see y'all the week after. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you hadn't done it yet, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. And if you like this video or you think you know somebody that it might help, share it with them. Anyway, I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber. I'll see you in the next video if you don't get flushed.